What is going on YouTube? This is Acid Root. So I'm going to review a 2022 project by Joe Fresco. Basically this project is called Make America Player Again Volume 1 and it came out in the spring of 2022. So within the particular pitch about this project, this was an album that was requested to me a couple years ago within Stones Type Pitches. Definitely wanted to get to it here. This is definitely a party foul to miss out on this particular project early. This is a definite party foul to miss out on this product a lot sooner within those pitches just because the format. This is another classic here within the banner type appeal. Basically continuing the format of like, if you like Snoop Dogg from like the early 2000s, back when he would do songs with DJ Quik and Battle Cat and some of those type folks, and like other folks within some of those type aspects, like folks like that and Jelly Roll and some of those type of people. Not Jelly Roll the country singer, but there's a producer named Jelly Roll that's a West Coast producer. Folks like that, some of those particular type fares within it. It's like a series of producers Snoop Dogg was kind of hip to back in the early 2000s, pitches like that back in his East Siders days and like the Last Meal days and Paid the Cost to Be the Boss days. Some of those pitches within the format, very much within that tone. This Joe Fresco cat's pretty similar to like Sugar Free, Too Short. Some of those type folks has a little bit of that bounce, some of that zap type bounce, like folks like E40. Feels like kind of out of the Bay Area, feels minorly like out of the Bay Area pitches like that. Some of those particular type appeals when you think of Keek the Sneak, E40, Too Short. Some of those type folks in particular. Good aspect here. I think this is Cali centric, which is excellent type appeal. Kind of get this connect, just seeing some come up type rappers within the product like California type Sun, just an underground type pitch. This is a purchasable type album. It's an excellent type pitch. This basically has the appeal of like a hungrier kind of Snoop Dogg and Too Short. Some of those particular type folks. So just the aspect just within the fair. Don't know as many full bound details about Joe Fresco. It was just kind of the pitch as far as saying. From what I saw when I visited his iTunes page, pitches like that, it seemed like he had a number of albums within some of those fairs. He's not that active on his YouTube page. Only has like 220 subscribers. Pitches like that. It's just within format. Most of these videos have been seemingly taken down within some of those formats, but he does have a relatively active iTunes page and Spotify. Some of those type pitches. So it's excellent type appeal. Just being able to get this here. This is pretty blitzing type album, just an aspect behind. Definitely a real good dose of California type sound with an aspect, really getting some hammered typeness. This is the sort of stuff that Wiz Khalifa and Snoop Dogg kind of traded bars with, like in like the Documentary days and a little bit of like the Rolling Papers and Kush and Orange Juice type days. Some of those type pitches within some of those type products out of the early 2010s, pitches like that. I would definitely say here. Definitely perm type music when you think of folks like Cat Williams, some of those type folks in particular, other folks like that. Once again, to name Sugar Free, some of those type folks in the aspect of this particular tones that you would have seen in like a more smooth type, just jazzy fade type productions, just without the southern bounce about them as far as what's going to have. So definitely within the pitch behind it. There's 15 songs on this album, and out of like minus like the 3 interlude skits within those appeals, it narrows it down to 12. So out of the 12 songs, recommend all 12. So it's just excellent kind of clean sweep of a pitch to kind of get here. Simple enough, kind of 10 out of 10. So just with the pitch to just saying this is, and this within the product, it just basically has the format of just getting like a particular kind of more hungry kind of West Coast guys. It's the best format to describe this sort of pitch. It's that sort of fair if you know like the Bay Area pitches like that, just that particular thriving kind of California sound ripped out of the early 2000s. This really feels like something that was like a leftover off the Dogfather album from 1996 and early 2000s album by Snoop Dogg and mid 2000s album by Too Short. Some of those type pitches, just those smooth type ones like Too Short's Cocktail, some of those type ones within format, just pitches like that, some of that slanguage pitch, some of that particular fair. There's just aspects as far as saying just an up and coming kind of West Coast type rap within pitches as far as getting towards some of that type format that just has that same sort of aesthetic. So basically the most popular song off this album according to Spotify is Playboy Bunny, which is an excellent type pitch here. It's like a vintage kind of mid 2010s ratchet with like a Zap and George Clinton kind of bounce about it here. There's some disco jump as far as what's supposed to happen. So just when the pitch, just that particular fair, when you think of some of those, this easily should remind of like a good Snoop Dogg or Wiz Khalifa type bop within the pitch behind it. This feels like a Snoop Dogg mixtape. Some of those type of feels within the pitch behind it. It's just that same sort of appeal. It's ripped out of some of those type moments that George Clinton would kind of do back in like the 90s. Just some of those type aspects within the tone behind it. So this particular album, considering that this came out in 2022, it's just strange because this album feels like 20 years older than it actually is. But it's just the pitch as far as saying just reviving some of that particular sound out of early 2000s kind of West Coast type moments, pitches like that. I'd say DJ Quik was another cat that particularly did some of these type moments with some of his 2000s and 90s sounds within the pitch behind it. So it's just butter smooth within some of those type tones. But particularly there are some songs on this album that kind of blend like DJ Mustard kind of ratchet music. So that was a product of something that was kind of in the mid 2010s that kind of vanished after probably about 2016, 2017. This DJ Mustard relatively started to phase out, minus like the Kendrick production songs that he did, some of those type pitches. But it's just within the format as far as saying just within tone. I look after it, there is like, it's just basically like getting a George Clinton song, some of those type folks with more of like a DJ Mustard kind of ratchet relative bounce about within that sort of pitch. So it's good type tone. Let's go down the list with some of these. The Fresco way is a quality one. It's like an on-the-runway kind of basic, vivid commerce kind of get here. Just feeling jazzy. I'd say to some 70s kind of starry crusade kind of gems for those pitch counts. So just an aspect, just kind of being amidst like some good traffic type commerce with an aspect as far as those pitch counts. Just got particularly in a pretty good pep type mode. Not so much within the full bound mode wanting to get tore up, but just the pitch of just enjoying like the traffic of it. Not in a bad mood. Some of those particular type pitches. Just the embellish of listening to like some good radio pitches like that. Just the embellish of listening to some good tunes pitches like that. Have like maybe some good grub nearby, some of those particular type formats, just some basic kind of smarmy type feelings within the pitch behind it. There's a similar type pitch within those formats to KBLX Nights. I'd say it's like a jazzy kind of big city on like the night prowling kind of feel within the pitch behind it. This exuberant kind of mode, I'd say here, just good it's good kind of glamour about it. Just a nice relief from like this particular song's like a nice relief from like a Muzak kind of day as far as this first comes. So just the pitch when I talk about SFW type stuff, just the pitch like a standard day shift type fare, lunch rush, some of those type aspects within the tone as far as those tones will kind of happen with it. Just the particular fares, just the relief behind it, being in like the pink skies, just cruising around this pitch like that, have the top back if you have that sort of car, some of those type pitches within the format of it, just appreciating like your hair in the wind, some of those type aspects as far as saying getting towards the conduct of disc, good relievers, and just like a good sigh as far as the conducts is kind of having within the mode of disc kind of switch. And really particular, there's not a ton of jazz, but it's just a real comfy type tune, just aspect of the cozy type factor, just appreciating like some just more soothing type moments for like the tone as far as just some kickback. It feels a little bit more extravagant with the pitch as far as this feels, but it's definitely some excellent type of appeal. FTB is a nice one. It's like fuck that hoe, fuck that bitch. It's like an oozing kind of reminds of like 2011 Wiz Khalifa and Snoop Dogg. Some of those type moments like off the Doggumentary and like Rolling Paper, some of those type pitches, and Wiz Khalifa's Cushion Orange Juice, some of those type fares. It's kind of neighborhood slick fashion kind of hops as far as this first comes. So just real groovy with the aspect, just real 70s related, some of those type tones. Kind of once again some not necessarily flamboyant full bound, but just kind of extravagant with the pitch, just like some kind of debonair type step out, and like a smooth type sense, just play a type sort of slick fashion type tone. Mysticism is a quality one on here. It's like a smoother but feeling razzled kind of extra moments kind of get within the conducts of it. This disco, it's like a disco kind of smoke sesh kind of get within those tones. Just 70s type format of just like the particular fare, just getting tore out 70s type aspect of getting tore out of your mind within a relative aspect here, just floaty kind of hotel fun within some type pitch. So just the format, just that standard type fare, just glossed out within the pitch, but just having the format just really. I mean, this album is not as full, but it has more commotion about within the tone, and just like the aspect of like some kind of more plush type fashions within the atmosphere, just like the standard day commerce, just amidst like the fashion, not so much amidst like the makeshift is full bound to be like a square like, but just the pitch as far as saying the after effects, like some good evening embrace and just figuring out the activities like the conduit type moments. It's kind of certain senses feels like lobby type music and just kind of mingle type music within the tone as far as just getting towards the product of like standard kind of dap and pounds with some of those type moments. But it's a good type pitch to be able to get this. Mysticism is a nice one to get tore up to. So it's just a pitch of having a little bit of that fare. I mean, it's just not has a certain extent of kind of getting tore up within this product, but it's some good type tones. Proof Av shit is a nice one on here. It's like a sleepy kind of milder slow creep to kind of get within the aspects here. Just a typical knock and afterthought I'd had to say within the products of it. Just some easy kind of late shifts. Proof Av shit just reminds like a sleepier kind of West Coast version of like Biggie's Juicy song as far as this comes. So excellent type pitch within that relative type product. Maybe not as like astronomical within like the girth of like the mammoth type hook and just overall pizzazz, but definitely within the fashion that particular product of it. Just some similar vein type one, just a West Coast variant of that particular song. Good type pitch for some of those type swat. Some good kind of commerce pizzazz within some of those aspects. This excellent type pitch. Real Players is a nice one. It's like this reminds of like Sugar Free in early 2000s Snoop Dogg, like I was saying, just some in between kind of pace within pitches like that. It's kind of a good song to collect, just figure things out, pitches like that, and map out some things for those first games. So just getting centered, straightening pitches like that, those particular type fares within conduct of this. It really just feels like a Snoop Dogg kind of album cut, just ripped out of like the last meal and like paid the cost to be the boss days. Some of those type pitches, something that Jazzy Fair, one of those type folks, Jelly Roll, some of those type folks, Battle Cat would have produced. Definitely within the aspect of it. Say Superfly would be another one of those within those pitches that I'd say. So it's good type pitch. There's a series of highlights on here that really have like some good venue type bounce within pitch behind. When I said that it's not a full bound kind of getting tore up, there are some moments like the good sesh, like some venue type heat. So it is the moment, it is active with being social. What it is a real nice one on here is like a basic loud pack and venue blazer kind of get within these aspects here. Just a synthy kind of routine fun. I'd have to say this reminds like 96 Snoop Dogg, some of those type pitches when you think of like You think of some of those hops like Snoop's Upside Your Head, some of those type pitches within the format of it, just definitely into that sort of appeal, just the extremity of just that sort of viciousness, just within the tones. This is real thorough type 1, probably one of the most immediate ones to go for within those senses. There's definitely some social bites on here, just within the tone. I said this is not as full bound kind of getting tore up. It has the pitch of being social within the aspect, but in terms of it's just kind of more centered within the product, of just not getting sloppy with it as far as this first episode. It just has a little bit more kind of just conduct about it within the tone, but it's not like that's a bad thing whatsoever. I look at the pitch, so definitely some immediate ones within fashion would be Playboy Bunny, What It Is, Callie's Still Active, Flagrant Fallon, some of these type pitches within the format. I'd probably say I don't think it's another nice one within some of those type tones. So it's just the pitch as far as saying Chip Biz, definitely some of those type products. So talk about Flagrant Fallons, like a butter smooth kind of Michael Jackson 83 type vibes within those pitches. That particular vibe of 83, I'm talking about the Thriller Days, some of those type pitches just feels like a leftover within. Now obviously not to like the full bound kind of commercial extent, but just within pitch, it just is a good product of something within that aesthetic. It's like a good glittery kind of disco step out, I had to say here, and just some casino fun pitches like that. So just within the tones, good to get some casino type music just for like the tones, a dislike, some gamble type money, just some pitch of having not something like that just to go and spend, just play some blackjack, some of those type tones within the format, just easy kind of crusades. Callie's Still Active's another nice one within those pitches as well. It's like an out in the late day kind of embellished to kind of get here to stock Callie kind of hydraulics, kind of more bounce downs type vibes within pitch bonus. So just the pitch, very similar to Playboy Bunny, some of those type aspects, just to miss like the product of like sunshiny kind of moments. So it's just within pitch like some day surfing, just in like a more beachside type sensor pitch like that. It's good Cali Sunshine, some of those type fares, just hydraulics within aspect, just vintage kind of sunshine, just good type tones, good nice pep to your step pitch, just like that. I don't think it's another quality one here. It's like a dope kind of DJ Mustard kind of step out to kind of get just some good dazzle about that product. Just in the night wind kind of feeling nice. I'd say here's some good products that just get crunk within the tone. So definitely a product to get feeling nice. So yeah, basically just bounce kind of any hop within pitches like that. Just probably one of the more contemporary type one. I don't think it's probably one of the more contemporary type ones within pitch. Just definitely ripped out of 2015. Some of those type aspects. Just missed the product like some step out and a more DJ Mustard. Just feels like a song that YG should have been on, and folks like Kid Ink, some of those type folks in particular, just pitches like that, some good type tones, definitely probably get into feeling nice within those aspects, just some good type tones for just like some pep and overall ambience. And like an excited and exhilarating kind of sense of good type tone. And then Chip Biz is a quality one on here as well. It's like a smarmy kind of relief, I'd say, just typical kind of Battle Cat and DJ Quit. Songs like a typical kind of Battle Cat and DJ Quik type unwind to kind of get here, just smoke one, I would say, within the pitch, just get ripened as far as what's supposed to happen. So just within the pitch, as far as saying, just the product of getting hype, some of those type tones, just the product of feeling good, some of the products of getting towards the embellishes. Just the tone. This one's a little bit more with the start of it within those particular type fares, just the unwind of like a real today, just initially getting to like some of those venues and spots to kick it as far as what's supposed to happen, just to miss the pitch, like switching the initial moments that just got done with flip mode, some of those type of appeals, like a more kind of smooth type sense, just more the fashion, just like more coded pitches like that, just a little bit more slick fashion within tones, just excellent type of appeal. Once again, this feels like an album cut from like an early 2000s kind of Snoop Dogg, Sugar Free, some of those type folks, DJ Quik type album pitches like that. Look after within the pitch as far as those feels so just excellent type of appeal. So that's the pitch behind this album. So yeah, this real, yeah, being able to say Make America Player Again Volume 1 within the pitch, this album gets a 10 out of 10. Definitely has some blitzing type aspect. I feel like it's a very necessary type album and a shot in the arm of just reviving type styles that seem kind of more forgotten about or just less commonplace within today's times, as some of these folks started to push 60 and some of those type formats, just getting into their mid and late 50s, some of those type formats that just kind of being more grizzled, not as full bound active within some of those type formats like they were back in 2001 and 1998 and 2006, some of those type years within the pitch. So good type of appeal. Look within the tone as far as carrying the torch and being able to do it, and good aspect that's affable. There's a lot of good hooks on here. There's a lot of smooth type fast. It's just a pretty affable type pitch. That this is pretty radio friendly within the pitch bond, despite the fact that it doesn't have a coded amount of like gloss. Despite the fact that it doesn't have a coded amount of kind of like casual kind of like explosiveness within the context. Not to say it's bad whatsoever. It's just kind of pitch that just I feel like the negated fact to it is more the fact that this is not discovered more so than the aspect of like the quality. So it's definitely the pitch. Once you find it, it's definitely pretty blistering. But it's just kind of tone. I just question how many folks are going to know about this folk and just the pitch of what they're going to. It's the product of giving it a whirl. So it's that pitch. It just all depends upon. This has to do with the curiosity. But I'd say within pitch, as far as saying the social score, I'll probably give as a result probably like a 9.75. I look within pitch. The excellence is on here, so I'm not going to drag the score because this is excellent type concepts within the pitch. It's refreshing kind of California West Coast type sound, just in a smooth type aspect, very similar to Too Short, DJ Quik, Sugar Free, some of those type folks, Snoop Dogg with the perm, some of those type aspects. Definite folks like that. Some of those particular folks probably corrupt even within some of those type facets, just pitches like that within some of those type tones. So it's just good type product. Some of that particular hotel kind of in between type music, the glossy casino moments, just step out and like some jazzy kind of cruise. jazzy kind of cruise outs, unlike the boulevard pitches like that as far as those Fresco comes. It's excellent type pitch to just have that particular glamour, just an aspect of like a more, I mean, there are some step out type modes within a relative touch sense, but it's actually it's not full bound low key, but it's just more modest within the aspects like the banner kind of like it's a little bit more modest, like the full bound kind of extravagance as to how social. I mean, it is definitely social, but it's just within pitch as far as saying that in terms of getting hammered and like wilding out to like 10 and 11 pitches. I mean, it has these moments on here, but it's just the pitch. I feel like it probably just has a certain kind of aspect of just like conduct about it. It's just in the pitch, but it's not to say that's a bad thing. So it's just in the pitch as far as saying it gets tore up, but it has things kind of elsewise going on. So it's just the product of just kind of having lace-up type moments and having kick-off type moments within some type of feel. So that's the aspect where I look within tone. So in terms of future, not really as full-bound sure what Joe Fresco's been up to in these particular recent times. Like I said, I discovered this focus like a request within those particular aspects. We'll have to get to some more of these. I'm not as full-bound sure if there's like a Make America Player Again Volume 2. So it's within the pitch. I could definitely be dope to check out more of these projects because this one was pretty affable and classic within the tone line. So it's excellent type of appeal. This easy kind of West Coast classic in a more underground and hungry touch sense. It definitely has some pretty glossy and just overall like vivid and kind of just butter smooth, that glossy and smarmy kind of appeal, I'd have to say.